What's up, everybody? It's your boy Donnie G. I am so excited to get into this conversation. I got a lot in store for you for this video. We talk about a lot of deep conversation from the millennial perspective, Gen Z, about some Black Lives Matter, George Floyd. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Empowers of this world. I have got to talk about. You know, what is up, everybody?
Do you
That's
think that we are like we have that lack of enthusiasm to learn what our rights are because maybe we have not, like, I know for myself, I have not directly experienced racism, like head on, blatant racism. If I ever have, I may not know exactly what that is because I don't have that lens, you know? Do you think that us as African Americans, which is like it is a possibility, it's very it happens that we don't have the lens of racism to know exactly what it would feel like directly. Do you think that that impacts our motivation for learning our rights or learning what we should and should not do in those kinds of situations?
I think it does have a big part to do with it, mostly because when you look at America, you don't just see black and white. You
Hmm.
see all the colors under the sun,
Right. Asian, brown,
all
Hispanic.
shapes,
Right.
sizes, colors under the sun. So, because a lot of us, and you got to think about it, even as you grow up in a predominantly black area, you're probably going to go to high school. And at your high school, it's not only going to have a lot of black people, but you might end up having a lot of Hispanic people at your high school too. And even though
Hmm.
we're both considered minorities, we're both still two different races. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? And then, like, for somebody like me, where most of my high school experience, I went to a school where there was literally everybody there. There was Asians, there was Hispanics, there were our people. Even looking at religion, there was Muslims, there was atheists. So when you grow up in a diverse situation like that, it tends to have an effect on you to where you feel like certain things isn't important. Or it's not that it's not important, it's just that specific priority gets pushed to the back of your head.
Like almost like you're desensitized to
Exactly.
racism.
Exactly. That's the word I was looking for. But it's just like, because of everything that's going on, which is so, like I said again, social media is so good that we have social media because it's actually bringing an eye. It's like taking the blinders off.
Right. Right.
And now that the blinders are off, people are now seeing that aside from the fact that you may have grew up with Sally and Jose and Chung Lee, I felt like that was very racist, but I'm not trying to be racist. But
Look, just a little
really
stereotype.
grown
Just a
up. Let
little
me
bit.
rephrase it. You still have a responsibility to know what you as a person can and cannot do. Because I might be out with a white friend and an Asian friend and a Hispanic friend. And out of all four of us, we might get stopped by the police. Now you need to know that most likely you and that Hispanic friend are going to be the ones that the cops stop.
Hmm.
That Asian friend, they might mess with them, But 9 times out of 10, they might not. That white friend, they're gonna tell them to go home, and that's just reality. You
Hmm.
can't think that, oh, just because I'm with my group of friends. No, they're probably gonna think that you're the one. If you go into the mall with them for it, they're gonna think you're the one that's stealing. When it turns out the whole time that it was your white friend that was stealing.
Hmm.
But because
Hmm.
it's your white friend, they're still going to try to figure out a way to say that it was you when clearly all evidence points to the white friend. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like you have to make that top priority to just know, especially if you plan on continuing to live in this country, you have to know your rights.
It's a sad, unfortunate event, but I think that God has a purpose for everything. And I think that it's allowed a lot of Americans to see that, for ones who had rose colored glasses on, that racism still exists. It's not just a victim cry, or an African Americans
We're
are
not making this
race
up.
baiting. We're not making it up, you know. And not only that, it also helps for our brothers and sisters to see how crucial it is to be vocal in this time. Regardless if you've had a personal encounter or not, like, you should still be vocal in regards to, honestly, every experience that every African American has had in regards to racism is a personal direct encounter, regardless
No
if
matter
you've
how big or small it is.
exactly. And because, knowing that we stand together as a body, as a culture, and that this idea, this hatred is coming against our culture as a whole, you identify with the culture. You are a part of the culture. You will forever be a part of the culture, no matter how bad you don't like it, or no matter how self-loathing that individual might be. But I do think that it's a lot of positive things that are coming out of this in regards to us being educated. Have you yourself experienced any direct racism? Like, have you felt that?
Um, Now I wouldn't say, well, this can be considered direct. It can kind of be considered direct and indirect. And I know this has probably happened to a lot of people um before. But
Hmm.
I remember going into I remember going into a mall, and we went into a store. It was a nice clothing store. And it was me and I'm not sure. I can't remember if it was my friends or my sisters that was with me. But all I know is that we went in there to spend a decent amount of money,
Hmm.
because we liked the stuff that was in there. It was better quality. It was a nice store. So I'm like, oh, I definitely want stuff out of that because I got expensive taste. So, but
Don't we
but
all at some point?
but we went in there, and immediately I see one of the Caucasian sales associates walk up to the security guard that was on duty, and basically whisper something to him. And as soon as she whispered something to him, that security guard, along with her and other Caucasian sales associates in that store, started kind of like looking at us real hard and following us. We had one in particular that was just like following us. As soon as we would turn one way in the store, they'll kind of go around and turn the other way so they can see exactly what we're doing. As
Mm.
soon as we go to the other side of the store, they're right there. Every 5 seconds, somebody's coming up, hey, do you need help with anything? No, I'm fine. I don't need anything. I'm just looking right now. If I need some help, I'll tell you. Another person, hey, do you need anything? I'm fine. Hey, how can I help you with something? I don't need anything. But the entire time I'm like shooing these people away, they're still looking at me. They're looking at my sisters, and they're just like, just oh, it gave off the impression that they were looking at us to break the law or something, or they were
Hmm.
looking at us like we were going to steal something out of there, not knowing that we were willing to give a substantial amount of money for the products that they were selling. So when that happened, and that continued to happen for a good like 20 minutes, I told my sisters, I said, don't even worry about it. They're not getting any of our money today. They're not getting
Hmm.
any of our money. And they don't even have to worry about us coming into here anymore. And we left. And I believe I haven't been back to the store since.
Thank you so, so much for watching. If you enjoyed the conversation and you have something you want to say, go ahead and hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, and share so you do not miss anything. Go ahead and hit that notification bell. All right. Got my waves coming out. Oh, what?